We've all seen those brilliant dogs that seem to have eyes only for their owners, as if connected by something that no one else can see. The relationship is so strong that no distraction, not squirrels, not cats, not even other barking dogs or squealing children, can tempt this dog to stray away from what he's been asked to do. You may be sitting back thinking, that kind of connection wouldn't be possible with every dog. But before you click away, I want you to consider it as a real possibility for you and your dog. Once you get there, you'll discover a completely new side to your relationship with your pet, one built on mutual trust. That trust will allow your dog to step up to a brand new level of freedom. Freedom changing the way he gets to live his life, both at home and when the two of you are out on a walk together at the park, the beach, or anywhere life takes you. The question for you now is, what would your life look like with that kind of connection with your dog? And how are you going to get there? Hi, I'm Susan Garrett, and you're about to see how every dog owner beginning the journey of training their family pet starts at exactly the same place, motivated entirely by one single factor, and that is challenge. When faced with that factor, each of us will make a decision to take one of 5 paths going forward with our dog. Let's face it, if living with a dog brought us no challenges, there'd be no need to look for help. If all dogs came pre-programmed to know what we wanted them to do and to act appropriately in all situations, who would need dog training? But of course, dogs, like all creatures, come to us with their own unique sets of drives and fears, likes and dislikes. It's that unique blend of characteristics that makes us love them so much, but it's also what brings us those challenges. If you're committed to developing a relationship of trust and connection with your dog, but you're not entirely confident what your next step should be, you need to stick around. Because before today's video is over, I promise I'm going to make sure you're fully equipped to know which pathway would be best for you and your dog. But first, I'd like you to meet 3 fellow dog owners. 3 people just like you. People who didn't know each other. As a matter of fact, they lived hours, maybe thousands of miles away from each other. But each of these 3 ladies were connected by one common factor. And that, you guessed it, challenge. When watching each of these stories unfold, be sure to listen for common phrases. Each of these ladies, though their stories are unique, chose the same path when faced with their dog training struggles. Watch and see if you can't pick up on the common theme. And who knows, maybe you'll see yourself in one of their stories.
I'm Debbie McGonigal, and I have 2 dogs at home, a golden retriever and a coton de Tuilier. Jam is my golden retriever, and he's the one that I did the recallers, all the recallers courses with.
Good job. Good boy.
So about 2 weeks before I was going to get my dog Jam, unexpectedly and tragically, I lost my daughter. So it was a pretty devastating time for me, and I actually considered not getting the dog. I thought, you know, maybe I can't do this right now. But thinking about it, I figured it would be better for me to have something to keep me busy. So away I went to pick up my dog and bring him home, and it was nothing but struggle, because he screamed in his crate. He climbed his X-Pen, he ate all his toys, he chewed the wall, like it was crazy. And I would walk out of the room and he would scream. So he just wanted my attention all the time. And I honestly didn't have that in me to give him so much of myself. I was in a fog, I was grieving, I really was lost. It just seemed like we weren't connecting. And to go to a puppy class or a camp, I couldn't be around people at the time. It was too difficult for me to be around other people. So that's when Susan rolled out her Recolors 1 course, and I decided that I would try it because it was an online course. You could be at home, you just log on to the computer, you watch the video, you read the literature, and you play with your dog. It really did change my life because, first of all, I was connecting with my dog. He was responding to the games, he was having fun. It was a 5-minute training session a day, and I found myself feeling really good for those 5 minutes because the rest of the day was crappy. So that 5 minutes every day we were looking forward to it. So the Recallers program is supposed to be about getting a good recall with your dog, but it's so much more than that. Because you're interacting with your dog on a daily basis, it becomes a way of life, of everyday training, of every day your dog is watching you and waiting for you to play with him. When you start Susan's program,
Sit. Get it!
you start to realize that
Okay.
it's so positive and it's all about having fun with your dog. It's about getting him to choose to do what you want him to do. Thank you, Susan, for bringing me back to the real world and connecting with my dog. Thank you.
Good girl. My name is Marie and I'm from Malaysia. I have 6 dogs, of which 5 are rescued. Phew, Doji? When I was small, I just had passion for dogs that way, and some of the dogs just came and I just couldn't take it and I just took them in. Come, let's go. Dogs in Asia are treated very badly, see. Unlike the Western country, they have laws which are more stringent. But the local dogs will be just outside. There's no bonding whatsoever. And they like to call this dog the word pariah, which actually is an Indian word, is the lowest caste.
So who's this?
This is Jambai. Jambai! When I took him in, he had 95% mange. He had no hair, and he had only the hair on the snout, that's all. And then he was smelly, stinking. Jumbo is like a celebrity at the vet because they saw the transformation from a bawdiest dog and now it's such a lovely dog. Nobody wanted to adopt him. I put him on Facebook. And now everybody wanted to adopt him. It's a totally different dog completely. Lisa, to the crate! Good boy. Rescue dogs are lack of confidence. They are scared of humans and they are very wary. They do not trust humans because humans was the one responsible. They were the one who abused them. So they're very scared. And to get them to trust me is very difficult. It takes a lot of effort to bond with them and to build their confidence. Yes, good girl. The challenges I had was putting leash on them, taking them to the vet, and then crating them. They hate it because they associate this as bad. I believe they were crated for long periods of time or chained. I didn't know how to leash them properly. It was by force, everything by force. But Susan taught me how to make value of the leash and crate game. The crate games from Susan was phenomenal. And because of the recaller course, it changed. It is beyond words, all the games that was given by Susan. It's just 5 minutes of your time, and I play 3 times a day with the dogs. And the transformation is different, very different. They are closer to me now, they interact with me better, and they just look forward to playing the games and bonding with me. Yes, good boy, good boy.
My name is Linda, and I am a professional zookeeper at the Toronto Zoo, which means that I also do training with the animals at the zoo. And I do agility in my spare time with my Border Collie, Johnny Cash. And I also have a young Border Collie. He is about 5 months old, and his name is Shenanigans. One of the key aspects of Susan's training is relationship building, creating a lot of value for yourself, for your dogs wanting to work with you. And when I saw the relationship with my dog kept reaching higher and higher levels, then I knew that I could apply that at the zoo as well. One of the things that's very difficult for zookeepers as opposed to a dog trainer is dogs are bred to want to work with us. But for a zookeeper, one of the biggest challenges is that these animals are not pets, they are not domesticated, they are wild animals, and it's part of our job to enrich their lives, and that includes training. But how do you motivate a lion or an animal polar bear that you don't have contact with? You can't pet them, they weren't bred to work for you. So I think that I, as a trainer, have been able to apply a lot of Susan's techniques to make myself a better trainer and to make myself have greater value so that animals do want to work with me. I played crate games with skunks. You know, we had to train skunks to go from one place to another. Now I work with dangerous animals, and I train lions, I train hyenas, I work with cheetahs as well. When I worked in the outreach area of the zoo, and outreach is where you take young animals and you kind of hand raise them, and these animals become ambassadors for their species. They might make guest appearances on TV, they might go out into the zoo where people can pet them, people can ask questions about them. So it's not necessarily that they know tricks, but they have to have that solid foundation for being in a situation that might scare another member of their species that hasn't had that foundation. And that comes down to all those core games that Susan plays when she wants a great family pet. It's not about agility, it's not about trick training, it's about all of everything that your dog can deal with in just regular everyday life.
So what you're gonna do, Swagger Pretty, you're gonna go in, and if he gets out of position, he doesn't get his cookie. Pretty. That is just cheating.
When I first met Susan, I thought she was amazing. She was funny, she was engaging, she is a great speaker. Like I said, I had all these puzzle pieces of dog training and a little bit of knowledge from all over the place, and I felt that she just took that puzzle and she built the picture for me. She gave me the big picture in that puzzle. It's probably not a conscious decision, but every day I'm always using Susan's words in my head. I'm applying Susan's methods, and I'm always thinking, what can I do to make this situation better? And a lot of her other techniques, such as It's Your Choice games, a lot of those kind of games, I've been able to bring out the best in animals when I've been training them.
Wow, are those journeys amazing or what? Did you pick up on the common language in each story? Phrases like value for me, becoming connected, and training becoming a way of life for my dog. Those were all mentioned through those stories. So we've established it's the dog training challenges or struggled when accompanied by a large dose of frustration that starts each of us on our pathway of discovery as dog trainers. So what are those 5 pathways? Pathway number 1 is that of putting out fires. You come home, you react to what you see, you clean up messes, you go on. You don't give any more thought to it. You hope that your dog will outgrow what you're seeing. You put all the eggs into the hope training. Path number 2 is that of management. You love your dog and you want them to remain part of the family, so you're willing to manage all of those behaviors. You know they might go into the garbage when you're gone, so you put the garbage up on the counter. You know the dog's going to chase a squirrel and not come back, so you never let them off leash when you're at the park. The role of management is one that is completely exhausting for the pet owner. Path number 3 is that of training. You acknowledge that you're going to train your dog, you're going to invest in that, but you're going to take the path of blame and punishment. The dog should know, he's a year old, he should know better. So intimidation, dominance, and punishment are what you're going to choose to take yourself to the next level. Pathway number 4 is that of reinforcement-based training. But reinforcement-based training so centered around lures, that you bribe the dog to get into a position you want. When he doesn't come when you call, you squeak a squeaker or you shake a cookie jar. You rely on great treats and rewards to get the dog to do what he wants, but when the dog is faced with that tough choice, do I want to come to your cookie or do I want to chase the squirrel? You really can't be sure which one he's going to take, and often he's going to take the one that is most appealing, which is the squirrel. Pathway number 5, reinforcement-based training focused around the choices of the dog. When all of our training is based around what that dog wants to do, the outcome is brilliant because every layer of training is the dog's own idea. This might seem way out there, but the results are amazing. The dog will do what you ask them to do because it's all based on their own choice. When they get out in the park and they're chasing a squirrel, they're willing to come back because in their mind, it's their choice. Looking at these 5 pathways, the one for you should be clear. Training your dog with choice at the center of all you do allows you to add layers of learning through games that engage your dog, leading you to that place of complete connection and trust. In our upcoming video in the series, I'm going to take you into the home of a client whose dog was struggling to make the best choices. You'll see me play my favorite game of choice with this hyper dog and his owner to help turn around their very stress-filled relationship. You'll see the game that is the single most important element to all of my dog training success, both at home and in the performance arena. Yet it's so simple that anyone's going to be able to play it with their dog. Owning a well-trained dog isn't a matter of lucking into a great dog. It's just the application of a few simple core concepts that many pet owners never get the opportunity to learn. I promise you this, by the end of this video series, you'll know with great clarity what you want and the steps to take you there. For now, I'm going to share with you the 2 questions you need to be able to answer in order to get the absolute most from every training session with your dog. That is, number 1, what went well during that session? And number 2, what is your next step? In order to answer those 2 questions, I've created a quick reference training guide that will help you maximize your results when training your own dog. It's a simple step-by-step tool that I use to analyze my sessions and propel my training forward. You can get that training guide and see the next video in this series when you enter your name and email address in the box on this page. Today you met Debbie, Marie, and Linda. You heard about their challenges through their stories. Now it's time for you to share yours with us. What struggles motivated you to seek out more knowledge in dog training? And which of the 5 pathways did you initially choose? I'd love to hear from you. Please know that I will personally read each and every comment you leave. And if you found great value in the video today, I'd love for you to share it with your friends. Pay it forward. Okay, now I think it's time for me to go and train my own dogs. I'll see you next time.